Hello guys, it's me Zoe, and today we're making yet another video, but this time it's something kind of different. It is lore based. It's Baldi and Friends lore based this time, which, I've made several lore based Baldi and Friends videos in the past. Some Baldi and Friends video just including snippets of lore. This time is just entirely lore based. This is the official timeline of Baldi and Friends Baldi. This is a thing I meant to officially create for a very long time now, but just have never gotten around to do it. And I'm really excited to showcase this. I know this won't get much views because, well, shit like this never gets views nowadays, despite it being like my whole entire premise of this channel, besides random ass shit posts about my AUs. But with that being said, let me show you the chart real quick. So obviously you see the chart on screen right now, and this is the chart we're going to be using to show off the different the different time points in Baldi's history. Now, why are they blurred? Now, the reason for that is because I'm going to be revealing them as I talk about them. It goes from the top left to the bottom right, and so on. So, yeah. I need to stop fucking talking and get this shit over with. Because I'm really stoked just to talk about this, so let's go. So the first section is probably going to be the most confusing. Now remember, Baldi is as old as time itself, so he is very old. He's like godlike, I guess. And there are two different times in this section because both of them I feel like deserve to be in a place in this chart, and I decided to put them both here because, well, they're like the two most oldest forms of him. So the first one is basically a star because that's what he was before he exploded at some point, like all stars do. They become like these red giants and whatnot, and he just explodes, I guess. Very painless because, or do stars feel pain? I don't know about that, but you get the gist. And then the orb you see is still him, and he's actually on the planet Earth at this time. He basically just spawns a little after Earth is formed. And during the time where, the moon was created and Thea fucking died. But yeah, Baldi's just chilling as a little orb, waiting for some sort of living beings to keep him company. And eventually, they do, as, like, little micro, like, insects and bacteria and shit. And, evolution. And, around this time span, he ends up changing from this orb to our next phase. And honestly, I didn't draw the in-betweens because they'd be the most fucking cursed thing ever. Just imagine a big-ass orb with, cat legs. I don't want to think about that. So, yeah, speaking of which, let's go to our next section. And our next, phase, or section of this chart is, when he is in a Triassic, era. Despite him being a saber-toothed tiger, it's fine. It makes logical sense. He's just, before his time. He is a saber-toothed tiger, Now, I specifically chose a saber-toothed tiger for him because, one, I feel like it fits his, like, protective personality thing, and two, where do you think he got his fangs from? He never outgrows them, by the way. He never, outgrows his fangs. They stay there. But this version, you know, he basically is just, you know, trying to live through life with all these weird-ass abominations of animals. And he just basically lives. And his personality, I guess, is similar to Scratz from Ice Age? I mean, he likes, acorns the same as he does. This version of Baldi does, and the next one, both of them. They both like acorns. Yeah, they always get into, this one gets always into some sort of trouble because, you know, he doesn't know how to cooperate in this, you know, life scheme yet. He's trying to get the handle of it since he's the only one of his type, so, at the moment. So, yeah. Let's move on to the third one, where what I said about the previous one is a fucking lie, because it's a mid-transition. So the next phase might be a little cursed, but it's fine. We can get through this. It's fine. It's just a flesh baby with ears. It's fine. This is Baldi during the Jurassic period. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. So he's a little flesh baby. He's getting used to standing on his hind legs since he just feels weird doing that, but his instincts tell him to. He still has his fangs, he still has his ears, and it doesn't show, but he still has his tiny nub of a tail, because, you know, saber-toothed tigers have nub tails. Baldi still has that, but it's just really little. The next phase doesn't have his tail anymore, but it's still a mid-transition. You'll see that in a second. But, yeah, he's still trying to live through life, and, no, what he's wearing is not his own skin. Definitely not at all. It's of a different animal, okay? Don't worry about it. But yeah, here's our cute little boy, I guess. He's not really little. At this time, he's like, what, 5'1", I think? He's like Mario's size in canons in this form, so. And in the other phase, he was like the size of, like, I don't know, Leafeon from Pokemon. That's the best comparison I can give to you. Or how tall is Absol? No, he's Absol's size. But yeah, here's this, Baldi. Yeah. And he thought the previous phase was cursed. Look at this guy. He literally looks like a fucking pit bull. That aside, yeah, his ears are shrunken a little more because his ears are just gonna be poof, non-existent. And his fangs have also grown shorter. At this point, he doesn't have a tail anymore, and his fur is just completely absent at this point. And if you're curious what he's wearing now, that's the fur coat of a woolly mammoth. At least I know this time. The previous one was Diego, this one is frickin' Manny. What's next? Frickin' Ice Age baby. Ice Age baby. No. No. Anyways, this one. Oh god, I would be laughing the whole time. We're only a quarter away. This one, he, you know, isn't used to being in direct cold because, you know, in the previous periods, it was either really hot or just cool at the least. And this is just, like, freezing to him, and, you know, like I said, he doesn't have any fur anymore, so he's just gonna have to stick to, substitutions, like, other animals' fur. And, he's just living his, quote-unquote best life. It's not really his best life right now. It's not really torture yet either, because that's coming soon. Just not yet. But yeah. Here he is. This is also the first time of him ever seeing humans. Like in the Metal Age, I think it was. He still looked like the previous stage, and he didn't know what a human was. In the Ice Age, he finally found some humans. So, there's that. So, next phase. So, the next phase is actually a big-ass jump between years. Because the next phase actually is between the previous phase and this phase, as well as the next phase. Because during his time as, the previous phase, as the next phase, the one after this one, he ends up getting captured and is just forced to become a knight in shining armor. Because this, my friends, ladies and gents, is the medieval ages. And he does not like it. This is where the torture comes in, for him anyway. Him and the phase after the next one. He doesn't like fighting at all, and at this point, he's never held a sword in his life, and he's never seen freaking dragons before, so yeah, he's fucking terrified. And up to this day, he's still terrified of dragons to this day. Trauma, am I right? But, yeah, he was forced to become a knight, for the royalty, because they just found him, and like, oh yeah, he looks strong, let's just use him as the knight, because fuck everybody else. And yeah, he doesn't like it, so, that's all I gotta say for this phase. And honestly, this is one of my favorites. I wish I executed the Knight in Shining Armor a little better, but I don't give a fuck. It's not my favorite anyways. Out of these, so far my favorite is probably the Sabretooth, because look at him. But yeah, anyway, let's just move on to the next phase, and I guess also the previous phase? I'll explain. So as you can see on the screen, there's two different timelines on this phase, and I think it explains a lot better what happened. After the Ice Age, he became this specific form, and then he got captured, and then he went back to this form after escaping the castles, like, sneakily. Yeah, here he is. But whoopsies, he gets captured again in the next phase, and stays that way until his next reset. He only has like 2 resets ever, the one where he exploded as a star, and the next phase. They're basically life resets. They're not, anything too special. But, yeah, this one, I'm not giving this one a name because I don't know what to call it without sounding, offensive. So I'm just gonna call it as this, this Baldi, because I don't want to say anything disrespectful, but at the same time, I thought it'd fit. But yeah, here is the boy. Here's the boy. And yes, he was with a tribe at some point until he got separated because the tribe didn't like him. In fact, they kind of hated him for some reason. Like, they didn't like him for whatever reason because he didn't have hair like the others. So they just kicked him out, and, he's a loner. Well, until the next phase. You'll see right now. So like I said before, he ended up getting captured again, and like I said, this was permanent, and yeah, he's a war soldier. He's a World War soldier. He participated in World War. And I don't know what the World War I outfit looks like, so I just went for the World War II outfit instead. And, well, Here he is. Because of this event, he didn't really know how to behave when using a gun. At first he was terrified, and then he just became a fucking psychopath. And Baldi, every time he uses a gun now, behaves like he needs to go into a mental asylum. He laughs maniacally and everything. Just imagine freaking Baldi with a fucking AK-47. No. I'm not drawing that. I don't even know how to draw detailed guns. Okay. But yeah, here he is. And, after this point, he gets his reset due to a bullet in the head, killing him. And then in the next phase, we will see his current life. His current. And starting from the next one. So, let's just go ahead and get this next one as, the current phase. So I'm pretty sure no one has ever seen him before, but this is little kid Baldi. This is him with a little child. He's just a bean. He's just a little bean. And he has fucking hair. And he has hair. Okay. He doesn't turn bald again until the next phase. He has hair in this time, and at this time he also, was born by his biological, not at this time, like 2 years before. I didn't want to draw baby Baldi because drawing a baby's fucking weird, but, he was birthed by his, biological parents. His biological parents hated him, then he swapped to another family, and he met Princey, his new brother, then Volume 2 was birthed, and then everybody just forgot about Baldi. He lives there, but nobody ever mentions him. He got the middle child syndrome, and yeah, he is the middle child of the family, so it only makes sense. Now, the middle child of my family is definitely not forgotten, trust me. She literally visited the house yesterday, so, but, yeah, this middle child was for a long period of time. This phase and the next one. And, he didn't like school. He thought school wasn't interesting. And, he just tried to not talk to anyone. And, he tried to be visible. He tried to let everybody know he exists. But, he ended up just getting bullied a lot and punched in the face and all that shit. Like bullies do. Insert it's a bully joke here. No. But yeah, here he is. Here's the boy. And the next one, well, is still the boy, but he's fucking bald. He's fucking bald. I shouldn't be laughing at this because he, lost it both due to stress and because he ended up just cutting it off and shaving it off because he didn't like it. So, yeah, 2 reasons. And now he's back to Baldi! Yay! But yeah, at this point in age, the last straw for him when he still had hair was, his math teacher, which doesn't have a name at the moment and doesn't have an appearance at the moment, ended up slapping him with his ruler. Trauma incoming. Not additional story points, just trauma. But yeah, he ended up, having his final straw and just shaving his hair off. And, he's crying because he's suffering, and he just decided to accept the fact he's forever going to be forgotten. And in his classrooms, he just ends up being in the corner of the class, and nobody bothers with him. He just sits, and at home, he just sits in his closet, depressed as fuck. Until eventually, Princey found him after they graduated. Baldi, of course, never joined said graduation party because why the fuck would he? They wouldn't even say his name anyways, or give him a diploma, so why would he even bother? But Princey did. He also didn't join the graduation party because, at this time, him and File Name 2, built, like, found, like, this, abandoned building that was, like, the size of a schoolhouse, and with all their, all their college money, they decided to buy it, and they, you know, did their shit, and then File Name 2 ended up getting sucked in a computer. Yes, that's how he became glitched, by the way. And, you know, shit happened. And Princey became a little depressed because he lost his best friend. And then he found out that, well, he has another best friend that they forgot for years. Years! Like, what, 15, 14 years? Like, oh shit! And he finds him in his closet and, you know, they start a whole school thing. And the next phase, which we're going to go to in a second, he becomes the math teacher. And he ends up looking like this. And yes, this is a reference to how Baldi's original design in Baldi's Basics had a blue chart. Yes, this is a humongous reference to that. And I don't regret anything. I was gonna make it teal because that's what my head kept on imagining it, but no. We need to stick to blue. Blue is best color, okay? But yeah, oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, this only has 1 year in it, and there's a big reason for that. He, became a good teacher to, like, a few students. One who had died and has a whole entire story on her own, which is very important to the lore. And then a few other random ones that just ended up, you know, not staying because they found a better school with much more students and more than just one subject. So there's that. And, you know, during, you know, summer break for him, he gets possessed by Joe himself, who, yes, is dead at current. But, you know, at this time, he ended up looking like this. And, yeah, don't remind me, I know fair and well that Blue Baldi looks like the freaking, scientist dude from Team Fortress 2. Don't remind me. It was pure accidental. And this one, as you can tell, is, well, you know, the actual premise of Baldi's Basics classic. You know, slappy slap slap, you get a math problem wrong, fuck you in the ass. No, he can get sent to jail for that. He doesn't do that. Even in his possession form, he doesn't do that. That's disgusting. But yeah, Baldi's just, you know, slapping kids with his ruler, as you can see behind him. And yes, this is more of his ruler trauma. And because of this, currently, rulers are not allowed in the school premises at all. Not even those freaking long-ass board sticks that teachers use to demonstrate things. If it's a long rectangular slab of wood with lines and numbers on it, Baldi's gonna have a trauma attack. Don't remind him. And he deals with this for 10 whole years, possessed until Maxwell appears and unpossesses him. And, disclaimer, this last one isn't truly accurate because he, you know, first time he doesn't have a scarf, and then the second time he doesn't have a scarf but has an arm cast. Third, he has a scarf and arm cast, and fourth is, you know, the current one we all know as. And, well, speaking of which, I might as well reveal the last slab because, you know, it's right there and it's obvious. And here you go. This is current Baldi and all of his glory. Living his best life, and that time isn't satire. This technically is his best phase of his life because he dealt with, like, trying to murder getting kidnapped and trying to murder several living beings twice, dealt with freezing cold temperatures, had to survive fucking dinosaurs in the process, and basically tried to deal with depression all at the fucking same time. Okay, not same time, but different times. All fucking trauma related. But now, he's happy, more happy than ever, because he's not as traumatized as he would be. I mean, Lab, Baldi, and Jonas still exist, but I mean, he'd rather get frickin' assassinated than, and respawn than just having to see a million dragons and rulers all over the frickin' place. And dinosaurs. He'd rather see that. And yeah, he's just a happy boy. He's a happy boy. Everybody loves him. Everybody adores him. Okay, I don't know about that part. There's probably some people who hate him. Oh yeah, Joe. Okay. But yeah, that's the full, timeline chart thingy McBobber thing. Don't ask me to do Maxwell's because one, it would be a lot shorter. And I don't want to make something, a lot shorter and a lot less time to make and, make it accidentally more popular. No. And I also don't want to do this again because this was a lot of work. Despite it not looking like it, but shut up. Yeah, I guess here it is. Got the first and a half, I guess. Got the second, which is probably my favorite besides another one, because look at him. We got the third one, which is cursed. We got the fourth one, which is even more cursed. We got the fifth one, and then we got 4.5 and 6. Confusing time lapse. And then we got 7, which is probably the most awkward, but I mean, how do you make that? With a bald person. And then we got 8, which isn't even baldy, it's freaking hairy at this point, but look at him, he's probably my third favorite. The second one being my second favorite, duh. And then the 9th one, being a miniature baldy, essentially. 10th one being blue baldy. Don't make any, inappropriate jokes in the comments about that one. Then we got 11th one, which is basically Baldi's Basics Baldi all over again. And then we got the current one, the 12th one, my absolute fucking favorite, because he'll always be my favorite. And no one can tell me otherwise. Like, look at him. He's iconic. He's beautiful. But yeah, I don't know how long I've been talking. This whole entire recording I'm doing right now has been like 3.5 minutes. So, I should shut the fuck up. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, do whatever the fuck you want. I'm not forcing anything. It's just stupid YouTube algorithm. Don't cheat on your bitches, or else you'll get cheated on back. Bye. I'm not a relationship advice maker. Don't ask me for any more advice. I'm Arrow Ace. Thanks. Okay, bye. Oh yeah, don't ask me to change the ending because I fucking won't. Fuck you.